harvest symbolizes abundance. Abundance, not just financially, but abundance in all ways, in all things. Myrtle Fillmore said, the universe is crammed full of health. Okay, she said that in her book, How to Let God Help You. But she didn't mean just health. She meant the universe is crammed full of joy, of peace, of everything, harmony, ideas, love. You know, we say, oh, we're past the point of no return in terms of global warming. They said, yeah, we can't turn back now. We have the solutions to get out of. Our technology will get us out, even if it's AI. It will get us out of this. Not that we don't have to be responsible, but there is no lack of ideas. There's no lack of solutions. Because we're connected to this thing, regardless of condition, regardless of what we see. We may see lack and limitation, but the world that we live in inside here that is more real, as Michael Beckwith says, more real than the chairs you're sitting on, is what we call in Unity the absolute realm. The absolute realm. And the absolute realm is our source. It is our supply. And that evidence happens in this world of duality. You can see evidence, wonderful evidence of abundance. And so I'll share some examples. Astronomers and physicists tell us that we are living in an expanding universe. And it's full of unlimited possibilities, unlimited potential. We're discovering new things every day. Every day. It's just a matter of building telescopes that can see further and see better. Every time we do that, we're discovering new things. The more we look, the more we see. I forgot the botanist's name that said that. I think it was Thomas Merton. The more we look, I probably messed that up. The more we look for, the more we see. And that's really happening. When we were all young, Saturn had 9 moons. It was in all the books. It was that way since the 1800s. Any guesses on how many moons Saturn has that we've discovered today? Any guesses? 15? Try 146. 146. It's just a miracle they're not crashing into each other. So wow, could you imagine we have this one moon here and Saturn has 146 moons. How romantic, right? And 30 years ago, we didn't know that there was a single planet outside of our solar system. And then we discovered the first exoplanet, and another, and another, and another. And now we have physically seen in telescopes 5,000 exoplanets. So using logic to derive, okay, how big is the universe? How many galaxies are there? Scientists say that there may be billions of not only planets, but billions of planets that are inhabitable planets. Billions. So for each person alive in the world today, there's a planet out there full of a bunch of people having church. So you're seeing the trend. These things were there all along. It's just that we're seeing through new eyes. We're seeing through new eyes. And the more we look, the more we see. And the things we look for, we see. If you look for grace, you're going to see grace. If you look for love, you're going to see love. That's abundance. Now thinking about the micro, we talked about the macro, there are far more cells in the human body than there are people alive on the planet Earth by 1,000 times. By 1,000 times. So 1,000 Earths, that's how many cells you have in your body. And each one of those cells is full of 1,000 times more atoms than there are stars in the Milky Way. It's just, and if you go below that, so the quarks and the neutrinos, they're called neutrinos. That sounds like a snack, doesn't it? They're so smaller than the atoms, and we haven't discovered all of the miraculous things about all of these quantum particles. We're discovering more and more, and that's the realm of possibility. Quantum science. You hear Joe Dispenza talk about it all the time. That's where possibility and abundance is just bursting alive. And so let me set another framework for abundance. There was an author I was reading named Marla Dean, and she talked about something that was helpful to me. She said that abundance, just imagine abundance, it's like a platform. Abundance is the big thing. It's the big idea. It's a God idea, okay? And its principle, its universal principle, abundance. And prosperity is basically evidence. It sits on top of this platform of abundance because it's evidence in this world of duality of that abundance. Prosperity is evidence, and not just about money. Because money is just one form of prosperity. You can be very prosperous, right, in so many ways without it necessarily being tied to your bank account. And money is just energy, and I'll talk about that later. And because money is energy, when you pay your bills, you know, how many of you, oh God, got to pay these bills, or got to write this check? Next time you pay your bill, do so with gratitude, or write. I heard something that spiritual people used to write on their checks. It was 3 initials. Does anybody remember that practice? It was something like, I couldn't remember, but it was just 3 initials that said, you know, something like, I'm so blessed, right? ISB. What? IOU. Yeah, true. Or maybe just in the notes field, just write a little heart. And just see what, is anybody doing that? Just see what that does for your consciousness, because money is an energy exchange. It's a measurable energy exchange, an exchange of value, an exchange of generosity. So back to abundance. Every week at service, we say, the infinite source of love, abundance, harmony, wholeness, intelligence, and joy is expressing as me. And think about the word, the infinite source. That's just abundance. That's just tapping into our source and supply. Jesus said, I came that they may have life and have it more abundantly. John 10:10. And some say that was Jesus' mission statement. I came that they may have life and have it more abundantly. And so what does that mean? I think it means abundance in all things. Heaven here today, not wishing, hoping for some future event based upon how we behave, right? Not through some judgment, but really just claiming the abundance that is ours. And once again, abundance in all things, not just money. Jesus also said, seek ye first the kingdom, right? And all shall be added. All shall be added unto you if you seek the kingdom first. So to me, that I can read that as, look for when you see lack and limitation out in the world, remember, those are just temporary clouds. Look for your source and supply in here. Look for your source and supply, which can never be harmed, can never be diminished. There is no lack and limitation right here in the God self, where we have infinite power, infinite presence. There's only one presence and one power, right? So it must be here as much as anywhere else. And I wasn't sure where to put this in my talk. Jen said, just put it right there. So George Carlin, I want to talk about material possessions just for a split second, because I had to get this in the talk. George Carlin said, trying to be happy by accumulating possessions is like trying to satisfy hunger by taping sandwiches all over your body. I'll read that again. Trying to be happy by accumulating possessions, think about that. You're trying to buy happiness with possessions is like trying to satisfy hunger by taping sandwiches all over your body. It's just not going to work, right? You need to search for internal happiness, internal joy that comes from abundance. I'm now going to talk about Deepak Chopra wrote a book called The 7 Laws of Abundance, and I'm going to talk about 4 of them that called out to me. And this is a foundational way to tap into the law of abundance. So the first is that abundance is infinite and that the universe is a giver. The universe is a giver. The Persian poet Hafiz said, "The sun never says to the earth, 'You owe me.' It just keeps shining." The sun never says to the earth, "You owe me." It just keeps shining. It just keeps giving. And Hafiz said that about the nature of love, but it can also be applied to the nature of abundance. And according to Deepak Chopra, getting comfortable with the idea that the source of abundance is truly infinite, when we do that, we open doors to new opportunities that never existed before because we're looking for it. We are saying, hey, there's not just one solution. There's not just one rental place available to Jen and I. There are so many opportunities, and the right and perfect one, this or something better is coming. This or something better because it's an infinite universe, and abundance is my source and supply, more real than the chairs I'm sitting on. So we have to wrap our minds around that idea because that's what the universe does. Its job is to be abundant. The next law, which is interesting, is anybody ever heard of zero-sum game? It's kind of a statistics term, math term. And zero-sum game means this. It means that when I lose, someone else is winning. Or when someone else wins, I have to lose. And it means that there's not enough to go around. And it creates jealousy. It creates, ooh, they won this thing. They got this thing, so I'm lesser than, and there's none for me. So this law is abundance is not a zero-sum game. We need to praise everything and everyone. We need to praise someone else's abundance. When that Tesla or whatever it is goes and drives by a Tesla, someone give me a better car, or whatever. Ferrari, yeah, Lamborghini, McLaren F1. When that goes driving past us, it's okay that I'm in my Datsun 710. So, good for them. Yeah, bless them. Awesome, because guess what? I am them, if you really think about it. So, when you see someone that just came into success, sometimes it makes you feel a little bit down like this. And that going back to that Emma Curtis Hopkins saying of the quickest way to get your healing energy going, we're considered metaphysicians because we think about beyond the physical, beyond the meta. The quickest way to get that healing energy going is to praise everything and everyone. So the next law of abundance says that intention and attention expand the field of possibilities. Intention and attention. And Michael Beckwith said that we cannot observe something without affecting it. Well, that's a law of science. We cannot observe anything without affecting that system. That's a law of physics. So if our intention and our attention focus on our destination, the getting there, the how, will be provided. That's what we believe here in New Thought, in Unity. And when I think about intention, I think of Wayne Dyer because he talked about intention so much, and he wrote a great book called The Power of Intention. But the main takeaway was when we are crystal clear about our intention, which is using the third principle of unity because we are creators, when we are crystal clear about our intention, we can't help but expand our abundance. We can't help but expand it because everything is all energy. Everything is all energy. And when I think of that, I think about Esther Hicks. Anybody heard of Esther Hicks and the law of attraction? So she says basically that when we energetically put ourselves in a line with our intention, and that intention holds a high vibration, and we hold that vibration too, that universes of cooperation will come to conspire for our goodness. That cooperative components and cooperative relationships, the right people, the right places, the right thing, the right finances, the right ideas and solutions will come rushing in when we hold this idea, not in some dry thesis, but when we hold the emotional, energetic equivalent of vibrating high. it will attract. So that's basically the law of attraction in basics. And it's based off of biblical knowledge. Ask and it is given. Ask, seek, knock, right? So whatever you want to receive, just like Patrick was singing, start by giving. Think of love. Isn't it true that when you give love, you get love back, right? Especially if you're in an argument, you're the first one to say, I'm sorry. That's giving love. And things melt. That's how forgiveness works too. You just get love back. When you give kindness, you get kindness back. When you give joy, if you're emanating joy, when Juanita walks in the room and says, hi, you don't say, you say hi. You match that energy. You give what you get, right? And so related to prosperity, this relates to prosperity. It's this concept that we call the law of circulation. And Deepak Chopra says this about the law of circulation. He says, holding on to anything is like holding on to your breath. Like, just take a deep breath in, and hold it, and hold it. You start to feel the tension. You need to breathe. Okay, you can breathe now. You'll suffocate if you hold your breath. So the only way that you can be in line with the universe is if you circulate your breath. Your blood needs to do the same. Your lymph needs to do the same. Everything, oceans and rivers need to circulate. That's what life is all about. It's circulation. So we need to circulate with our giving. And when we say, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, that again is what Patrick was singing about. Giving, through giving we receive. Through giving we receive. And we also say we bless these love offerings that help our spiritual home thrive. These gifts do good work in our community and beyond, and they are returned to us multiplied abundantly. And when we say that, it's not like, you know, you write a check for $30 and you're going to get 90 the next day. Now that may happen. That may indeed happen. But it's about prosperity, which is not always money. It's about time, talent, treasure, love, solutions, joy, grace, right? When you open up and you're a giver, if you support something that feeds your soul, you get back in myriad ways. And so giving of our time, volunteering, right? I can't help but think that when Ron's doing this, that he's not benefiting. The universe is just saying, thank you. I mean, we're all saying thank you. This building is saying thank you, but the universe is returning to him multiplied abundantly. And there's this thing about volunteering and service. Anybody ever heard of the word seva? I'll have to dig this up later. I believe it's a Sanskrit term, but it's basically, it means that you're giving, like when you're volunteering at Martin de Porres. Think of it as sacred service. When you're an usher, when you're a platform assistant, when you're reading the daily word, think of it as sacred service because you're serving in the community. So you can give of your time and your talent and your presence as well as your treasures. It's all energy. So, we as a board, we tie 10% of your love offerings to make a local impact. And we, with each dollar that you give, 10% goes, and it's split now across, it used to be a smaller number of nonprofits, but we just voted that it's going to be spread across 12 different nonprofits a year. Every dollar that comes in for the love offerings. So doesn't that feel good that we are, and we're doing that because we as an organization believe in circulation. We believe in giving so that we can receive and be a part of this abundant law of the universe and this law of circulation. So, in closing, I want to say that someone else who talked about prosperity was our co-founder, Myrtle Fillmore. And she said something, and it was in one of her writings. She actually never wrote a book aside from children's books. She wrote a bunch of letters, and they were later compiled into books after her death. But she wrote a letter on permanent prosperity. And she said this: True prosperity is not making money. It is determining what our own individual soul requires in order to cause it to unfold more of God. Okay? It is determining what our own individual soul requires in order to cause it to unfold more of God. And more importantly, true prosperity is helping our soul to harmonize its expression with the needs of everyone so that all are really benefited and inspired to unfold their spiritual resources. Okay? I'm going to read that one more time. True prosperity is helping our soul to harmonize its expression with the needs of everyone so that all are benefited and inspired to unfold and express more of their inner spiritual resources. So there is this givingness you can feel in that energy, right? It's about you and it's about everyone. So the act of giving is sacred. In closing, I'll say that. And going back to what Jesus said, I came that they have life and have it more abundantly. That means abundance in time, abundance in resources, abundance in answers, abundance in ideas, abundance in finances, and that when we circulate, it comes back to us multiplied abundantly, multiplied in grace, multiplied in joy, multiplied in health, multiplied in wholeness. So, and as Patrick said, what's the name of your song? The Gettins in the Given. The Gettins in the Given. I'm grateful for this blessing, and so it is.
So there's an abundance when you're giving. You're actually reciprocating something back to yourself. So this is a song that reflects that message, and it's called Gettins in the Given. Okay? So it's Gettins in the Given. The Gettins in the Given. Gettins in the Given. The Gettins in the Given. You'll be living when you lend a hand. We need help, every woman, child, and man. The Gettins in the Given. Let me tell you now. The Gettins in the Given. Too wrapped up in all my day-to-day, I couldn't see the forest for the trees. Chasing dreams with only room for one. It was only me I was trying to please. Turned around and changed my point of view. Listen to the whispers of my soul. There's more joy when you look outside and see your life connected to the whole. Gettins in the Given. The Gettins in the Given. You'll be living when you lend a hand. We need help, every woman, child, and man. Yeah, 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 the Gettins in the Given. Oh, Gettins in the Given. You got yours, and I got mine. Without a thought for each other, yeah. What if we decide we're gonna flip the script? Start to care like we're all sisters and brothers. Oh, Gettins in the Given, yeah. Gettins in the Given, that's what I'm trying to tell you now. The Gettins in the Given. Yeah, Gettins in the Given. Ooh.
Thank you.